Hair dye manufacturing. The French hairdresser, Gaston Boudou, first marketed the standard assortment of hair dyes in 1910. Whereas earlier hair colors had been combined on the place by hairdressers, and the colors created were variable, Boudou's dyes created a certain color. Traded in a variety of 18 colors, from dark to bright blonde, these turned into very popular both in Europe and in the United States. These amino dyes, however, had allergic reactions at a substantial part of users. Investigators in the United States are credited with producing the modified, less harmful amino-based hair color, for standardizing this method of using this color, and for demonstrating rigid specifications for the purity and strength of the raw materials. More advances in fabric color chemistry were created by the manufacturers of Clairol. Clairol created the first one-step cloth color in 1950. That eliminated the time-consuming exploratory shampoo and pre-lightening that was the accepted hair dyeing rule. Color fastness is a great concern for consumers and manufacturers of oxidative fabric color products. Hair color loss results from double garment cycles in which the fabric color is dissolved by liquid and leaches from the cloth shaft. In the report, we carried out a series of measures to help us better understand the kinetics of the leaching operation and pathways related to its way from this material. Testing your hair dye. Hair color leaching kinetics was assessed by suspending hair in the dissolution apparatus and monitoring the color increase in solution leached color with the ultraviolet visible spectrophotometer. The physical state of color deposited in hair fibers was measured by the reflectance light microscopy method, using image stacking, providing an increased level of field imaging. The color system within the fabric was monitored by infrared spectroscopic imagery of hair fiber cross parts. Cost to the ultrafine system of the fabric cuticle and cortex was defined at hair crossing parts and on the hair fiber surface with atomic force microscopy. Using differential scanning calorimetry, we investigated how straight color and leaching procedures impact the inner proteins of hair. Oxidative hair dyes will change the fabric, since these material processes are needed to alter the material composition and thus changes in their mechanical and surface properties. Measure and analyze the result of these two colors of oxidative hair color emulsions on white hair. The investigation examined that black-brown cloth raw I, black-brown cloth treated with bright brown color E, black-brown cloth treated with bright blonde color E, light blonde hair untreated IV, light blonde hair treated with light brown dye V, light blonde hair treated with light blonde dye V on Caucasian hair. Hair dye market value. Hair dyeing is now the multi-billion coin business that requires the usage of both plant-derived and artificial dyes. Types of hair coloring. Permanent hair color. The common means to reach permanent hair coloring is through the use of oxidation dyes. The components of these products include 1,4-diaminobenzene or 2,5-diamine toluene, a connection representative, and the oxidant. This process is typically performed under standard circumstances. The device of reaction dyes requires three ways: 1. Reaction of 1,4-diaminobenzene derivative to the quinone state. Thought of the diamine with the coupler. Understanding your hair dye. An important difference is between color and color. Hairdressers are not using pigments, at least not in the case of permanent hair color. They are using a combination of chemicals to create color activity. These various color particles have to be connected before they emit color, then dyes have to put on the top for 30 minutes to allow the activity to happen. Hair dye health issues. Hair dyes are aesthetic compounds that make contact with the surface within use. Because of the skin communication, there is some health hazard associated with the usage of hair dyes. Hence, hair dyes are governed in this trade market, and, as current toxicity information is generated for some hair dyes and welfare hazards are found, some of these fabric dyes are being legally restricted from the cosmetic marketplace. Doing it yourself. Are you waiting for copper red cloth? Do you have the feeling of handing in your life as the blonde to take out what hazel hair can do to the picture? From platinum blonde to pitch dark hair, learning how to color the hair in home and family color treatments give endless options. Aren't you happy that you don't still get to see the hair shop for the change in hair color, and remember about coloring hair at home? We get you in on all these hair coloring mysteries. Use our simple hair color tips and tricks and you can master changing the hair color at home. Choosing your hair dye. As you've seen, hair color is quite the procedure. If you do get to touch the hair, certainly, we suggest choosing for semi-permanent hair dyes, as they are the least harmful to the hair. Perpetual hair dyes are the most damaging, and if used too frequently, may result in indented and dried hair. Although conditioners do help seal the cuticle after the coloring process is completed, the hair chain cannot turn to the shape it was in earlier without the assistance. End result. Unlike permanent fabric dyes, semi-lasting hair dyes, also called hair glosses, represent deposit-only colors. That means they don't move the cloth cuticle and lighten hair, just darkening it or adding the color or gloss. Yet, unlike permanent hair color, semi-permanent dyes last just for a couple of washes and don't 100% cover gray hair. Conclusion: now you have found problem, you need to find a solution to overcome this problem, so that you can capture the market all the best.